You know Keanu Reeves, right? The guy from The Matrix. The man who takes the subway. The actor who gives away millions to movie crews. For years, everyone wondered about his love life. Then one night in 2019, he showed up at an event holding hands with a woman with beautiful gray hair. The internet went crazy. Who is she? Her name is Alexandra Grant. And their story is nothing like a Hollywood movie. It's actually better. Before we talk about Alexandra, let's talk about Keanu. This man has lived through some really hard times. In the 1990s, he was dating an actress named Jennifer Syme. She got pregnant with their baby girl. They were so happy. They even picked out a name, Ava. But something terrible happened. Their baby was stillborn. That means she died before she was born. Keanu and Jennifer were heartbroken. Their relationship couldn't survive all that pain. They broke up, but they stayed friends. Then in 2001, something even worse happened. Jennifer died in a car accident. Keanu was destroyed. He became very private about his personal life after that. He stopped talking about dating. He stopped bringing women to events. For almost 20 years, people rarely saw him with anyone. Keanu once said in an interview that he thought maybe marriage and family just weren't going to happen for him. He sounded sad but okay with it, like he had accepted being alone. Everyone felt bad for him. Here was this kind, generous man who seemed like he would be an amazing partner. But he was alone. Enter Alexandra Grant. So who is this woman who finally got Keanu to open his heart again? Alexandra Grant was born on April 4th, 1973. That makes her about 4 years younger than Keanu. She grew up moving around a lot. Her mom was American and her dad was British. They lived in different countries when she was a kid. She went to school in places like Mexico and France. All that moving around made Alexandra see the world differently. She became interested in art and languages. She loved how people from different places told stories. Alexandra went to college at Swarthmore College in Pennsylvania. Then she went to a really good art school in San Francisco called the California College of the Arts. She studied painting and drawing. But Alexandra wasn't interested in making normal paintings that you just hang on a wall. She wanted to make art that meant something. Art that used words and language. Art that made people think. An artist with a different vision. After school, Alexandra became a professional artist. But not the kind you might imagine. She didn't paint pretty pictures of flowers or landscapes. Alexandra makes what people call text-based art. That means she uses words and letters as part of her artwork. She thinks about how language works, how words look on a page, how different languages connect people or keep them apart. She creates big paintings with words all over them. She makes sculptures using letters. She even makes books that are also art pieces. One of her famous projects was about love poems. She took old love poems and changed them. She crossed out some words and highlighted others. This created new meanings. It showed how the same words could mean different things to different people. Alexandra also cares a lot about helping other artists. She started a foundation called the Grant Love Project. It raises money to support artists and art programs. She makes art to sell, and the money goes to help others. People in the art world really respect her. She has shown her work in galleries and museums around the world. She's not famous like a movie star, but in her field, she's a big deal. Now here's where Keanu comes into the story. In 2009, Keanu was working on a book. Not a regular book, but something special. He had written some dark, sad poetry. He wanted to publish it, but he wanted it to look beautiful. He needed an artist who could understand his words and turn them into visual art. Someone told him about Alexandra Grant. They said she was perfect for the project. She understood language. She made art from words. So Keanu reached out to her. They met to talk about the book project. Keanu had written these poems about loss and sadness and life. Alexandra read them and understood exactly what he was trying to say. She had ideas about how to make the book look amazing. They decided to work together. The book was called Ode to Happiness. Yes, the title is kind of funny because the poems inside are actually pretty dark and sad. But that was the point. Life is complicated like that. Alexandra created these wild, colorful drawings for the book. They looked almost like children's drawings, but with a deeper meaning. The bright colors mixed with the dark words created something really special. It was like watching sadness dance with hope. The book came out in 2011. It was different from anything else out there. People loved it. But more importantly, Keanu and Alexandra discovered they worked really well together. After that first book, Keanu and Alexandra stayed in touch. They became friends. Real friends, not just work friends. In 2016, they worked together again on another book. This one was called Shadows. Keanu had written more text, and again, Alexandra created the visual art for it. They spent a lot of time together working on the project. But nobody thought they were dating. When they appeared together at events for their books, they seemed like friends and creative partners. Nothing more. Alexandra was at some events with Keanu, but always in a professional way. Like when you go to something with a coworker. People who saw them said they had good chemistry, but it seemed like friendship chemistry. During all these years, from 2009 to 2019, people still wondered about Keanu's love life. Sometimes he was photographed with women, and the internet would go wild with rumors. But Keanu never confirmed anything. He kept his private life very private. Alexandra was also private about her personal life. She focused on her art. She traveled for her work. She was building her career. Neither of them talked about dating anyone. They just quietly spent time together working on projects, going to dinners, talking about art and life. Somewhere along the way, something shifted between them. Maybe it was all those hours working together. Maybe it was all those deep conversations about art and meaning. Maybe they just slowly realized they made each other happy. We don't know exactly when they went from friends to more than friends. That's because Keanu and Alexandra kept it secret. They didn't tell the press. They didn't post about it on social media. They just quietly started dating. Think about how rare that is in Hollywood. Most celebrities want everyone to know about their relationships. They post pictures online. They talk about their partners in interviews. They walk red carpets together. But Keanu and Alexandra did the opposite. They kept their relationship private and special. Just for them. For years, they dated in secret. They would go to dinners at quiet restaurants. They would visit art galleries together. They would work on projects side by side. And nobody knew they were together. Can you imagine keeping a relationship secret in the age of smartphones and social media? When everyone has a camera and posts everything online. But they did it. Some of their close friends knew, of course. But those friends kept the secret too. Because they respected Keanu and Alexandra's privacy. This went on for quite a while. Some people think they might have been dating since 2016 or 2017. That's 2 or 3 years before anyone knew. Why did they keep it secret? Maybe because of what Keanu went through before. Maybe he wanted to protect this relationship. Keep it safe from all the cameras and gossip. Maybe Alexandra, who wasn't used to being famous, wanted to keep her normal life as long as possible. Or maybe they just wanted their relationship to be about them. Not about what everyone else thought. Not about magazine covers and headlines. Just two people falling in love quietly in their own time. Then came November 2nd, 2019. The LACMA Art Plus Film Gala in Los Angeles. This is a fancy event where celebrities and art people come together. It's all very glamorous with beautiful dresses and nice suits. Keanu Reeves showed up to walk the red carpet. Nothing unusual about that. He goes to events sometimes. But this time, he wasn't alone. Alexandra Grant was with him. She was wearing a beautiful dark blue dress. Her long gray hair was flowing. She looked elegant and confident. And then they held hands. Right there on the red carpet. In front of all the cameras. Keanu put his hand on her back. They smiled at each other. They looked happy. Really, truly happy. The photographers went crazy. Flash, flash, flash. Everyone was taking pictures. But most people there didn't even know who Alexandra was yet. Then the pictures hit the internet. Within hours, everyone was talking about it. Who is this woman with Keanu? Is Keanu Reeves dating someone? The internet's boyfriend has a girlfriend. People started searching for information about Alexandra. They found out she was an artist. They found out about the books she made with Keanu. They saw pictures of them together from years before at book events. Then everyone realized these two had probably been together for a while. This wasn't a new relationship. They had just decided to finally let the world know. The internet exploded. But in a good way. People were so happy for Keanu. Remember where we left off? Keanu and Alexandra just walked the red carpet holding hands. The secret was out. Now let's talk about what happened next. Within minutes, social media exploded. But here's the beautiful part. People weren't being mean or jealous. They were celebrating. Twitter was full of comments like, Keanu Reeves deserves all the happiness. And they look so perfect together. People were genuinely excited that he found love. But then something else started happening. Some people online began making comments about Alexandra's appearance. specifically her gray hair. A few people said things like, "Why doesn't she dye her hair?" or "She looks too old for him." That's when the internet really showed up for Alexandra. Thousands of people defended her. They said her gray hair was beautiful. They said she looked confident and amazing. They pointed out that gray hair is natural and she shouldn't have to dye it to please anyone. Many women wrote posts about how Alexandra was their new hero. Here was a woman in Hollywood, dating one of the biggest movie stars, and she wasn't trying to look 25 years old. She was just being herself. Gray hair and all. The conversation got bigger. People started talking about how society treats women as they age. How women are expected to hide any signs of getting older, while men with gray hair are called distinguished. Alexandra became a symbol. Not just Keanu's girlfriend, but a woman who showed that you don't have to follow Hollywood's rules about beauty. As people learned more about Alexandra, they liked her even more. She wasn't some random person trying to become famous by dating Keanu. She was already successful in her own right. Alexandra had been working as a professional artist for over 20 years before people knew about her relationship. She had her own money, her own career, her own life. She didn't need Keanu's fame. In fact, she seemed kind of uncomfortable with all the attention. She's not on Instagram showing off her life. She doesn't give lots of interviews about her personal life. She just wants to make art. People found out that Alexandra speaks multiple languages. English, of course, but also Spanish and some French. She's super educated with multiple degrees. She's written articles about art and language. She's also known for being really kind. Other artists talk about how generous she is with her time and knowledge. She mentors young artists. She helps them figure out how to make it in the art world. Her Grant Love project has raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for art programs. She creates art, sells it, and gives the money away to help others. How many people do that? Friends describe her as thoughtful, intelligent, and down to earth. She's the type of person who would rather have a deep conversation at a small dinner than go to a big Hollywood party. Sound like anyone else we know? Yeah, she and Keanu are actually really similar. Think about what Keanu has been through in his life. The loss of his daughter. The death of Jennifer Syme. Years of sadness and loneliness. He needed someone who understood deep feelings. Someone who thought about serious things. Someone who wasn't shallow. Alexandra is all of those things. Her art is about exploring human emotions and connections. She thinks deeply about life and meaning. She's not interested in surface-level stuff. They both value privacy. In a world where everyone shares everything online, they both prefer to keep their lives quiet and personal. That's rare, especially in Hollywood. They both care about giving back. Keanu gives away millions to charity and movie crews. Alexandra raises money for artists and art programs. They both think about helping others. They're both kind of nerdy in the best way. Keanu loves motorcycles and books and thinking about deep questions. Alexandra loves languages and art history and creating meaningful work. They can probably talk for hours about things that interest them. And here's something really important. They were friends first. They spent years getting to know each other before they started dating. They built a foundation of respect and understanding. That's something a lot of relationships don't have. Working together, living together. Even after everyone knew they were dating, Keanu and Alexandra kept working together on projects. Because that's what brought them together in the first place. In 2017, before people knew they were dating, they started a publishing company together. It's called X Artists Books. The name comes from both their names, X for Alexandra and X, like the X in Reeves's name when he signs stuff. The company publishes beautiful art books. Not regular books, but special ones that are works of art themselves. They work with artists to create books that are unique and meaningful. Running a business together is hard. Many couples can't do it. But Keanu and Alexandra make it work. They respect each other's ideas. They support each other's vision. They also support each other's individual work. Keanu goes to Alexandra's art shows. Alexandra goes to Keanu's movie premieres. But they don't make everything about their relationship. They let each other shine in their own careers. In interviews, when Keanu is asked about Alexandra, he lights up. You can see it in his face. He calls her wonderful and special. But he doesn't share too many details because he wants to protect their privacy. Alexandra is the same way. She doesn't talk much about Keanu in public. She focuses on her art. But when she does mention him, you can tell she really cares about him. What makes Keanu and Alexandra special is how different they are from typical celebrity couples. Let's count the ways. First, there's the age thing. Alexandra is only about 4 years younger than Keanu. In Hollywood, male actors usually date women who are much younger, like 20 or 30 years younger. It's actually weird and creepy, but it happens all the time. Keanu didn't do that. He fell in love with someone his own age. Someone who has lived life and has experiences and wisdom. Someone he can actually relate to. Second, there's the appearance thing. Alexandra doesn't look like a typical Hollywood girlfriend. She doesn't have plastic surgery or tons of makeup. She dresses elegantly, but not flashy. She lets her hair be gray. She looks like a real person, not a magazine cover. Third, there's the fame thing. Most celebrities date other celebrities or people who want to be famous. Alexandra was already doing her own thing. She didn't need Keanu's spotlight. Fourth, there's the relationship timeline. They were friends for almost 10 years before anyone knew they were dating. They built something real before sharing it with the world. They didn't rush into anything. Fifth, there's the way they act together. They're not all over each other in public. They're not trying to prove anything. They just seem comfortable and happy. Like two people who genuinely enjoy being together. Remember how sad Keanu sounded in old interviews? How he thought maybe love and family just weren't going to happen for him. That's changed now. In recent interviews, he seems different. Lighter. Happier. He smiles more. He seems at peace. He told one interviewer that he learned it's never too late for love. That good things can happen when you're not even looking for them. That sometimes the best relationships grow slowly from friendship. He's also talked about how art and creativity can bring people together. How working on meaningful projects with someone you care about is special. Keanu is in his 60s now. Alexandra is in her 50s. They're at an age where they know themselves. They know what they want. They don't have to play games or pretend to be someone they're not. Let's talk more about ex-artists' books because it's actually really cool. This isn't just some hobby project. It's a real publishing company that's making a difference in the art world. The company focuses on books by artists. Not books about art, but books that are art. Things that challenge what a book can be. They've published works by photographers, painters, writers, and other creative people. Each book is carefully designed and beautifully made. Some of them are expensive because they're limited edition, but that's because they're special pieces of art. Keanu and Alexandra are both very involved in the company. They choose which artists to work with. They help design the books. They think about every detail. For Alexandra, this is perfect because it combines her love of art, language, and helping other artists. For Keanu, it's a creative outlet outside of acting. It's something meaningful he can build with the person he loves. Running this company means they spend a lot of time together. Planning, designing, making decisions. And they seem to love it. It keeps them connected not just as partners, but as creative collaborators. After that first red carpet appearance in 2019, Keanu and Alexandra started appearing together more often. But they still keep it limited. They go to some events together, especially art-related ones. They'll go to movie premieres sometimes. But they're not trying to be photographed all the time. They're not courting attention. When they do appear together, they look relaxed and happy. Alexandra often wears elegant dresses, usually in dark colors. Keanu wears his usual suits. They hold hands. They smile at each other. But they don't put on a show. The press has been mostly respectful of them. After the initial excitement, people kind of left them alone. That's probably because Keanu and Alexandra don't give the press much to work with. They don't create drama. They don't have public fights. They're just boring in the best possible way. Being boring is actually a good thing when you're famous. It means you can live your life without constant invasion of privacy. The story of Keanu and Alexandra teaches us some important things about love and relationships. First, timing matters. Keanu wasn't ready for love right after his tragedies. He needed time to heal. When he met Alexandra, he was in a better place. He was ready to open his heart again. Second, friendship is a great foundation. They spent years knowing each other before dating. That gave them a strong base to build on. Third, you don't have to follow society's rules about relationships. Alexandra doesn't look like what magazines say a girlfriend should look like. She's her own person. And Keanu loves her for exactly who she is. Fourth, privacy is valuable. In a world where everyone shares everything, keeping some things just for yourself is powerful. Keanu and Alexandra protected their relationship by keeping it private at first. Fifth, it's never too late for love. Keanu was in his 50s when he and Alexandra got together. Some people think that's too old for romance. But clearly it's not. Sixth, shared interests matter. Keanu and Alexandra both love art and books and deep conversations. Having things in common helps keep a relationship strong. We're there now. As of now, Keanu and Alexandra are still together. They seem very happy. They continue to work on their publishing company. They support each other's careers. They live their lives quietly and peacefully. They split their time between Los Angeles and other places. They travel for work and pleasure. They spend time with friends and colleagues in the art world and the film world. There are no rumors of trouble in their relationship. No drama. No problems. Just two people who found each other and built something real. People still love seeing them together. When they appear at events, social media fills with positive comments. Relationship goals. They're so perfect together. This is what real love looks like. The internet has basically adopted them as the official good celebrity couple. The one that proves nice things can happen to good people. The happy ending that's not an ending. This story doesn't really have an ending because it's still happening. Keanu and Alexandra are still together. Still working. Still creating. Still being happy. But we can end with this. After years of sadness and loneliness, Keanu Reeves found love again. Not with someone who wanted his fame or money, but with someone who understood his heart. Someone who shared his values. Someone who made him laugh and think and feel alive. And Alexandra Grant, who was already living a full and meaningful life, found a partner who appreciated her for exactly who she is. Someone who loved her gray hair and her intelligence and her talent. Someone who respected her work and her boundaries. Together, they're proving that real love doesn't look like the movies. It's quieter than that. More private. More real. It's two people choosing each other every day. Working together. Creating together. Building a life that makes them both happy. They remind us that good things come to those who wait. That healing takes time. That the right person is worth waiting for. That love can surprise you when you're not even looking for it. Keanu Reeves and Alexandra Grant. An actor and an artist. Two private people in a very public world. They found each other, fell in love, and showed everyone that sometimes the best love stories are the quiet ones. The ones that grow slowly. The ones that are built on friendship and respect and shared dreams. And isn't that kind of beautiful?